Hey guys, what's going on? Katie Day down here in Houston, Texas, live for another episode of the Real Advice Podcast with Stephen Kim Holmes. Steve, what's going on?
Not too much, Katie Day. How are you doing?
I am well. I am very excited for this week's guest. I know you are as well, your neighbor.
My neighbor, absolutely. Absolutely. So without further ado, let me just give a quick little intro of this rock star. Sandra Pike began her entrepreneurial journey as the owner of a health and wellness company, and then at the perfect age of 40, traded it all in to begin her meteoric rise in the real estate industry. In 2010, Sandra joined a boutique real estate brokerage and hit the ground running in her signature high heels. 2011, she won the Rookie of the Year award and then went on to join Royal LePage Atlantic in 2014. 3 short years later, Sandra was one of the top-selling agents in Nova Scotia and in the top 1% nationally each year thereafter. In 2017, BombBomb chose Sandra as a top 5 video influencer for real estate in both Canada and the US. And when she's not closing her quote-unquote deals in heels, which she will invariably share more about, her passion for shoes, she believes in giving back and contributes to Lady Balls, a fashionable evening in support of the only charity dedicated to overcoming ovarian cancer in Canada and fearless women everywhere, and Alice House. And believe it or not, Sandra Pike originally wanted to be a cop. Please help me in welcoming the founder of the Pike Group, Sandra Pike.
You made me sound really smart. What's that? That sounds good to me.
Sandra Pike, what is going on? Thank you for making time for this chat. We know how crazy busy you are. How are you doing?
You know what? I'm so relieved that I'm able to travel within Atlantic Canada. It's been wonderful to get out to the provinces, New Brunswick and PEI, and to go home to Newfoundland. It's been a long time coming. It's been a year and a half since we were able to go anywhere. So I'm stoked. I'm gone every weekend. I'm so excited.
Amazing. We're happy that you are now to travel a little bit more as we ease restrictions. Sandra, for like the very select few people in the world who don't know who you are, take us through a brief journey of kind of your life and why real estate at the prime age of 40.
Oh my God.
Because you're only 38, so that doesn't really make any sense. But anyways.
You know what? 29.
29.
Benjamin Button over here going back in age, you know?
I wish. You know what? So before I got into real estate, I was living in Ottawa for 20 years and I worked for a weight loss company. Well, I had to close my own. I went to work for another one. They're like, yeah, we need you to go back down east. And I'm like, I'm not going down east. So anyway, I came to Halifax, and suffice to say, I couldn't stand it here. Halifax was hard to meet people, and I was miserable, and I cried every Sunday. We had no Sunday shopping. And so I left the job that I was doing and took the summer off, first time ever in my life. And I went to work for the Daily News. So while I was there, I had the pleasure of selling advertising to real estate agents. And so at that point, I was only in Halifax for a little bit, didn't know maybe like 5 people. That was it. And everyone kept saying to me, as I do to people now, oh, you'd make a really great real estate agent. And one day I was with a realtor and she was really busy. And I'm like, sure, I'll take the exam or I'll do the course. So I started doing it from home. And at the time, I mean, you're never busy when you first start in real estate. So I had another job and I was selling, this is crazy. I was selling shredding to companies, right?
Nice.
So I would do that, all in the afternoon, do my real estate in the morning. And my boss calls me, he said, hey, we should meet at Starbucks. And I'm like, Kevin, are we breaking up? Like my boss? And he starts laughing. And, when I got into real estate, I had a few pity deals in the beginning, right? Like you do with your friends. So from July to September, you got a few deals. And then from September right up to the following May, I didn't have the one deal. So no money coming in and, still had, that job. And then that happened in November when they let me go from the other company. And I had 6 deals between November and February that were waiting to close. So I'm like, okay, the ripcord is gone. And it's like feast or famine. And I never looked back since.
Wow, that's incredible. That's pretty crazy, especially in an area where you're not familiar
No,
with,
no.
like, right? Like
And I
most
was old.
people, age is just a number. Age is just a number. Now you're super well known in the Tom Ferry ecosystem as just being a rock star, agent, like driven team lead. Was that always the goal for you? Is that you knew like one day I wanted to be a team lead, have a team behind me, or did things just kind of evolve as you kind of climbed that real estate ladder?
So I never thought about a team. I never thought about a business. I just thought about winning. And I'm very competitive. So I don't think about the money, but that just comes with you anyway. I just love to win. And I remember that year, it was 2014. I believe I did 73 transactions myself, and I couldn't keep up. So
I can imagine.
oh, it was crazy. So I frightened to death, hired an admin. So I had her for 10 hours, then went to 15, 20. Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to have you full time. So she would have went full time probably within 2 months. Monique did. And then I, just had a buyer agent that I would give deals to. And then the company I worked for at the time was wonderful, but unfortunately they weren't set up to have a team. And I went to Royal LePage, and I can't tell you about all the mistakes that I made starting a team. I didn't know what I was doing really, and I just kind of threw up, and there was a team. But from 2014 to now, there's been a lot of wins. There's been a lot of speed bumps and potholes that I had to go through. But my team now, there's 4 of us, and we're already at 141 ends. Year to date. So, I'm looking to get a buyer agent because I'm driving my team bonkers. But it's I can. I know you're not supposed to treat your team like a family, and you're supposed to keep it separate. But how everybody supports everybody and how everybody treats everyone, it's really nice to be in that supportive environment.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's awesome. I was gonna say, so a lot of people that we talk to want to start a team, right? I think that it's something that in order to better leverage your time, people realize you can't do it all yourself, even if you are doing 70 plus deals on your own, which I think most people are doing 7 deals on their own and they want to start a team. But anyways, I digress. Looking back now, right, with all the knowledge, all the experience, all the mistakes made, all of the wins, what would be maybe 1 or 2 things that you would have done differently if you could start your team today with the knowledge you have now?
Hire with intention. And, I didn't really have, so I've always organized. And I think, Katie, you hit it on the nose, right on the head there. But people start a team with 7 deals. Like, what are you doing? Or they have an admin and they got 7 deals. Like, I didn't have an admin until I think it was 50 deals in when I finally, started going. I'm thinking, okay, I need help here. Because if you are getting administered, so for example, with the admin, if you are getting that right away, you're not really understanding the business. You need to make mistakes. You need to do every part of your business, from the marketing to writing up the paperwork, the listing, whatever you need. And people get too I don't know if it's the allure of the agent. Oh, I need an admin, or you don't need any of that. You need to learn the business. And I feel that you're not a real estate agent until you got at least 50, 60 deals underneath your belt. Don't worry. I'll get to your question. Don't worry about a tagline or logos or any of that crap. If you can't flip your contract upside down and read it, what's the sense? So the first thing that if I had to tell you how to start a team, would be to be organized. And I'm just going to see something. I'm just going to cover up the name. So I started off with a checklist that was just like this, just 1 column, right?
Yeah.
And then I went from 1 column to 2. And now I have so when I'm going to list something, I have all this information here. Plus I got checklists online for my admin. But every time I do I always have I'm a paper girl, but I like to, okay, I need to do this to get my CMA done. This is my listing prep that I want to do. This is what I do when I close down a deal. And so I feel those things are, get an admin and then work on your systems. And then once you have that done, then go look for a buyer agent. And then, you know, grow your team from there. But you don't need a team if you're doing, you know, you got to be doing business, right? Because people, I think there's a couple of different types of teams there. You know, people come together because they want to share cost, or, you know, people come to you because they want, you're the rainmaker and you're going to give them leads and they need direction. So, you know, I think you need and people start teams for egos. So it's, you really have to, you know, think of what type of team you are and what you're going to offer agents who are coming.
So Sandra, what was the inspiration? So it sounds like obviously doing 70 plus transactions, that's pretty bananas. So it seems like the team was created based out of the need for you. You were doing just such tremendous volume that you needed that. Now, let's fast forward 5 years. What do you have? What's the vision for the team then? Is it going to be double the number of agents? Like this department? Are you even going to be in real estate still? Like what's the next 5 years going to look like?
Good question. So I'm good at sales. So I like the hunt and I like being competitive. So I don't know if that aspect will ever change. And I know that I don't have a lot of patience. And so a new agent coming to me, I'm not set up for that. Like I need someone to go know how to write a contract and do those things. Then I can teach you how to, you know, grow your business, because that's what I'm good at helping people with. But I know that I can't have a big team because my time and resources would be used to help train. And I'm starting my career so late, I'm not in that position where, you know, when I retire, I want to retire like I live now, not like I don't want to retire and, you know, be wondering about where every penny was coming from. So I don't see me, I'd be bored out of my trees, like sitting at home. I think I would consider coaching maybe when I'm 60. So I know I have another 8 years left to hustle, and I don't plan on slowing down. But from 60 to whenever, I only want to work because it's a choice and not because I have to. And who knows? But it's very hard to take that the competition out of me.
Yeah.
And I just and the hunt. So I don't know.
Where does that competition come from? That inherent desire to win. Where does that come from?
I don't know. Like I don't have brothers and sisters, so it can't be that. You know what? It's a thrill. It's, you know, it's I don't, you know, it's so funny. I don't think about helping the client because I know I have to do that anyway. And if I don't do a good job, like I'm not going to get referrals. So I just think about how can I be the best at what I'm doing and service my clients, and you know, how do I win and how do I make them feel good about coming? And so it just all works out together. It's fun. Like I don't know, it's a rush.
I love it. I love it. If I'm a brand new agent, just got my license, green, what's the one piece of advice you would give to every single brand new agent who's listening, watching this podcast? What would it be?
So I'll tell you, real estate is really easy. You know, marketing is easy. You know, writing a contract, everything is easy. But you know what's really difficult about real estate and what agents don't get? It's getting the business. And, you know, you get your pity deals in the beginning. Then what do you do? So I think it's you wake up every morning and you're unemployed. And, you know, you chose to be a real estate agent and you chose to be self-employed. You chose to be an entrepreneur. And I think you need to understand that and grasp that there's no one going to give you, you know, give you the business. So I think it's, you know, understand why you are in the industry and what it takes. And again, don't worry about logos, taglines, or anything like that, because you're not really an agent yet. And be confident. Know your contract, I think, is very important.
Okay.
And then go join a team. You know, it's being on a team. When I look at our crowd, so you know, if you want to go away on vacation, we'll look after your business. You don't have to lose any money.
Mm.
right? Or, we'll help you, or if there's something that you don't understand, like one of us is there to lend a hand. So, but not all team environments have that camaraderie, and I think you need to find what works best for you. But I highly recommend going on a team.
Great advice. Awesome. Katie?
Yeah, so piggybacking on that a little bit. Go ahead, Steve. What were you going to say?
No. There's a lag. Sorry. Sandra, our podcast, I seem to ask all the questions, and Katie keeps calling me out on it. So I'm going to take a little pause here.
Stop being the hog.
I know. Sorry.
May I speak now, Steve?
I'm just fangirling over here. All right. Sorry, Katie. Go ahead.
Simon says Katie can speak. Steven says Katie can speak. So Sandra, kind of piggybacking off of Steve's question as far as a brand new agent and what they should focus on. What would be your advice for an agent that's perhaps been in the business for a little while, maybe 4 or 5 plus years, and feels as if they've plateaued? Like, what would be your advice to them in order to take their business from wherever they are to that next level of where they want to be?
Get a coach. And I think that's really important. And, so I've had 2 agents on my team now, and they're both Dianes, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And I remember when the first Diane came with me, she had completed, it was $30,000 the year before she joined me. And she's been in the industry 20 years. And so when she was in it prior to joining the team, new construction was really big back in the heyday, right? During her tenure. And, with new construction, they don't teach you how to fish, right? They just teach you how to farm and just sign deals, right? So it was I can tell you with Diane, both Dianes, both were in the industry 20 years. And it was a struggle for them to come to the team. And because I was so systematic, I was organized, structured, and that wasn't something that they were used to. And I can tell you, Diane, so, I think our average house price point when she came was around 300 and change. And so in 2017, she this was like a year and a half, 2 years on the team now. So again, year prior to me, she did 30. And in a year and a half, she moved away to Winnipeg. And in 3 months, Diane had over $100,000 on in 2017. In 2016, she did over $200,000 with me. Now, the Diane that I have now, she did the year before she came to me $15,000. And again, if there's a person to know about rentals, like they own about 50, 60 doors themselves. And but just around a long time and did a lot of new construction and didn't know how to hunt for the business. This year, when we came into January, Diane had over $100,000 on the books in January.
Wow.
And it was, again, it was a big step for her. And she'll finish the year. My goal is to get her almost at 300 if we can. And that'll be the first time in her career that she's ever had that. So, if you are an agent who's been around a lot, but so it is a big step coming, and you just gotta. I can tell you, I butted heads with both women, and but we just had such a strong bond that they stuck it out. And I mean, I missed if Diane Tuckland, we're going to see her at Summit actually. If she didn't leave, and Diane would be doing probably over $500,000, like easy, with the team. And this is, I would tell you now, the other Diane that I have, like it's the most she's ever done in real estate, and it's awesome. So I am known. I have a track record of helping people get to where they need to be. And I have another new gal. Well, she's been in the industry now 2 years, and I'll have her. My goal is to get her up to 200,000 as well this year. 2 years she's been on the team.
So if I'm a brand new agent, Sandra, and like you shared, like if I'm a brand new agent, I should be looking to get on a team, Katie asked, if I've been 5-10 years into the business, get a coach to kind of get me on track. If I need to align myself with the team, what should I be looking for in a team? Whether it's the team lead, how they jive well together, is it production, marketing? Like, what are some of the things that or advice you could give to the listeners when wanting to join a team?
So that's a good question, because it is hard for me to recruit people, because I think maybe some agents would be intimidated by us. But, I think people want to get on teams for different reasons. And it could be because they don't want to be alone. But so that's a different headset for me that I don't know how to get past that. If I'm on a team, if I'm going to join a team, I want to be on a busy team and I want to make money. I mean, so you either get into real estate to make money or help people, or do both. And if you got to do both, you just got to find that balance, because you need to have a business acumen in order to be able to help as many people as you can. So it's just such a fine line. So depends what you want in a team. Like, I don't understand when people go to a team who aren't productive. Like, I can't wrap my head around that. And I know that probably doesn't sound good, but what do you want to go? What kind of a team, and why do you want to go to a team? And I think those are two things that you need to find out.
Amazing. Let's take this conversation in a little bit of a different route. You're known as the Deals and Heels.
That was going to be my next question.
Oh, was it? Sorry. So Katie.
Yes. No,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Katie.
I literally wrote that down because I was like, I wanted to segue into that.
Okay. Katie's going to segue into this. Katie, go ahead.
Segueing in. So Sandra, you're known for your tagline, Deals and Heels. So I have two questions around that. One, how did it originate? And two, do your clients always expect you to be in heels?
It's been so different with COVID now, right? So that I'm not seeing as many people as I used to.
Yeah.
And so it all started in 2014. I was in the business 4 years at that point. And I sat down, I'm like, okay, I think I need a logo now. And a bit of a branding. So I sat down with a local marketing firm here, and he's asked me what I'm like. And I'm like, you know what? I said, I am as boring as anything. I have no hobbies. I said, I buy shoes, I drink wine, and I sell shit. That's all I do. And anyway, that was the conversation. So he came back and he goes to me, he said, okay. He had like my SP logo, the Pike Group, they sell stuff or whatever. And then he had the Deals and Heels. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. And I didn't have confidence to take that on. And it wasn't probably till about 2016 that I did finally decide to take it on. And so, yeah, I love shoes. And so we had to move because we're building a house, and all my shoes are under the bed in a bag, and I can't get at them. And anyway, it's killing me. So, you know what? We developed that persona because I am not from here. I don't have any children. I didn't know anybody. I needed a way to meet women, and women are amongst the number one people who are making the decisions of what real estate agent they're going to work with. And if she doesn't like you, you're not getting in. And so I just wanted a way to connect, and it was with shoes.
What is your favorite pair of shoes that you own?
Oh. So you know what? I bought flats the other day, which is different for me. You know what? I just love sparkly stuff. Like, I don't have anything, I got my red bottoms, and they're just shoes. I just like anything that's sparkly. It's all good.
Deals and flats, though, just doesn't really have the same ring to it. Not a great tagline.
You know what? It's so funny. I looked at them the other day, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm 50. I'm getting flats. What am I doing? And that's what I thought I was getting. I'm getting really old now. I'm buying flats. But no, I'll be going to, we're actually headed to Chicago next month. My other half is doing an Ironman, so I'm shopping. So I'm so excited.
Good. Amazing.
Yeah.
Katie, I feel like you want to ask something. So
no, Steve, go ahead. It's your world, Steve. We're just living in it.
Sandra, I remember speaking to you years back, and I think it was when I did a little bit more digging. I think it was like 2018. Were you the first adopter of chatbots
Yeah.
for real estate agents, like globally or in North America?
Globally.
Globally. So how did that happen? Because I remember you talking extensively about chatbots years ago before it really kind of like took off. So how did that happen?
So funny. So that was 2017. We were at Summit and I was doing a Tom talk. And I kept getting these messages from this guy in Ottawa. And I'm like, look, dude, I'm busy. I'll get back to you when I get home. And so I called him up when I got home from Vegas. And the guy was just off the shelf. And I said, look, I'm coming down to Mississauga in, must have been September. I can't remember when Blueprint or whatever it was, Sales Edge. And I said, let's meet. And so we started chit-chatting. And he said, look, he was friends with the guy who ran Messenger on Facebook. And he said, I'm going to introduce you to him. He said, I like what you're doing. He said, everything what you're doing is consistent from your Facebook to your Instagram and your Twitter. He said, most realtors aren't. He said, you need to have a messenger on your website. So I was interviewed by Facebook in November 2017. Didn't think I was, Nike was back big doing it then. And, and the chatbots. And sure enough, we were the first ones to have it. So I used, AI a lot in the beginning. And I will tell you that, I don't use it now, but it was certainly a great opportunity. And I think that your business needs to be ever evolving. And so what I did, 2018, I'm not doing now. So I've changed and I just keep growing with the times, right?
Speaking of like evolution of business, like what do you foresee as being, quote unquote, a disruptor in the real estate industry? And I'm going to say specifically for Canada, because I know the US market and Canadian markets, they behave very differently. So what may work in the US doesn't necessarily work in Canada and vice versa. But maybe like, you seem to be kind of an early adopter, incredibly smart in what you do. What do you see as kind of the disruptor coming down the line in the real estate industry?
As in technology or just how businesses run?
Either or.
So, when COVID hit, nothing in my world changed. We were already digital. The only thing that I did differently was get a mask. And so we would have closed down here. That would have been March because St. Patty's Day, we didn't get to go out. So, and that's big here. So it would have been March the 13th, I believe, we closed down. By the end of March, so my guy in Ottawa that I was talking to with Messenger and all that kind of stuff, he said, Sandra, you need to start ordering masks and sending them out to your clients. And I will tell you, it was by the end of March, I was sourcing masks. And then I'm just looking for where they are. They're coming out of my desk. But I had hand sanitizers and with my logo on them. So all of my clients, I was calling like, hey, and I mean, sure enough, then, shortly thereafter, masks were mandatory. So we were digital. We were already doing, the virtual walkthroughs, and so nothing changed, right? So I think COVID, I think, was one of the best things that happened to our industry because it made agents level up and to start doing business, the way they should be doing, virtual tours and, walkthroughs and Matterports, etc. So what's going to be the next best thing? I mean, there's always some gadget, TikTok. I still haven't, I know there's a bunch of realtors on it. I still haven't, gotten that part yet. I've just really focused on listings and, just trying to find better ways to market them. And that's what I've been working on. And we've adapted Google. I mean, I've been working on my Google business page since 2012 that I've been verified. Yeah. And so just adding different things to it. I've always been, just trying to optimize that, because I will tell you, if my business isn't coming from repeat clients or referrals, I don't do advertise my individual listings like most agents do on Facebook. I run Google Ads off my website, and the coming soon has been really big for us.
Mm.
And custom sites now with custom domains, and we went back a little old school, to be honest.
Yeah.
And just I think the biggest thing for me in COVID, and I'm sure, Stephen, you would have saw it in your market, it was so busy. I remember back in, was it April, May, between two listings, I had 98 showings. So you can imagine how many times my phone was ringing. And I thought, okay, so this is one new thing we implemented. Like, how do I have a work-life balance where I'm not on that phone? Because I've always listed every Thursday since, I don't know, 2013. So that was always something I always did. But now we were listing on Thursdays, taking offers on Mondays. And I thought, how could I it's always been about the listing psyche for me, but this year I had to understand the buyer. Past year and a half is understanding their mindset, even though I wasn't working with many of them. But how do I get them that information that I'm not being bombarded? And we came up with our with a site where we have all the documents on it. Anything that a buyer would want to know at a property, we have it right there now for our client.
Wow.
For the client. And it just makes the transaction a lot easier, and we're not scrambling. And I just want it to be organized. And again, understanding that buyer and pricing. And that was a big challenge this year, but I mean, I loved it. It was good.
Speaking of, going to 98 having 98 showings, I remember at the peak of our market, it's usually a 1 hour showing time for a buyer. A buyer showing, buyer broker showing is usually an hour. First wave of COVID hit, it was 30-minute showings. The peak of our market, it went down to 15-minute showings, and you couldn't. I thought, what can you do in 15 minutes? You can't even get off the first floor. But yeah, that was it's great to see how you kind of pivoted during kind of what happened with COVID, and what's happening with COVID as well.
But if I didn't, I mean, again, digitally, we were already good to go, but I had to enhance what I was doing for that balance, because it was crazy. Like, yeah. So I just needed to take that noise away.
Amazing. Katie, I know you're going to hit Sandra up with our most difficult question, our last question of our podcast, and the most difficult, the one that stumps everyone. Are you ready, Sandra?
Do I need my wine? Do I should go get it?
Yeah, you do. I love how you're sipping wine during the podcast. That's a first too for this podcast.
Oh, it's awesome. Water. It's not even vodka. It's just water. It's all
what do you think's in here?
Yeah.
All right, Sandra, if it was your last meal on earth, what would you be eating?
Oh, I'd be having steak and blue cheese, caramelized onions with and twice baked potato.
This is a whole bunch of firsts, like, on this podcast. You were the earliest guest. You're drinking wine on this podcast, and sorry, and you answer that question without any hesitation.
Steak. It would be steak or lamb, like either or. But yeah, no, it's steak.
I like it.
It's going to be a hard question.
That stumps everyone.
We've had a few where like it takes a while to figure out what they would eat. But all right, Steve, back to you.
Sandra, we know how incredibly valuable your time is. We just want to say thank you so much for sharing and spending time with us, sharing your infinite wisdom, your nuggets of information for those new agents, the old agents, and everyone in between. We wish you and the team much success for the rest of 2021 and for many, many years to come. And we look forward to seeing you at Summit and connecting with you in person. We hope to see some of those great heels. Great heels. Amazing. Thank you again, Sandra, for your time. You were awesome. And we hope to see you soon.
Great. Thank you.
All right.